and properly second that we accept the agenda for this morning. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We'll move on to item 5. Can I get a motion to go into public hearing?
So move, Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Okay, I move that we have a public hearing for any discussion regarding a consideration of an amendment to the Lewisburg zoning map for Franklin County parcel ID 031340045646 and the former West Johnson Street located at South Main Street from downtown business B/1 to Planned Development District, PDD, amending the boundaries of the already approved PDD. Applicants are Franklin County and Tamani R. Anderson Powell.
Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we open for public hearing for the discussion as read. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, and Mr. Satterwhite.
Mayor, first, I believe it should go public comments first.
Okay, okay. All right, now, could I get a motion to go into public hearing?
We already.
We already
We
did
did that?
So
Oh,
it
that's
would,
good.
if there's any comments from the public.
Yeah, from the public?
Does that include stakeholders or do they come after public comment?
Applicants would come after.
Okay.
So staff, applicant. Since there's two applicants, Mr.
Okay.
Powell and the county. He signed up on the
Yeah.
sign up sheet, I believe, though. So
Yeah. Okay, so you have others for the, Mr. Powell. It's just a pass out for the,
I just brought one this year.
okay. And, okay, we can share that. Okay, so we got that. So,
Mr. Powell's up first.
Mr. Powell, you come to. May I give one of the county representatives?
Sure.
Do they have one? Just,
I'm
okay, go.
yes, sir. I'll sign up to speak.
Okay, okay.
Good morning. I'm William Powell, representing to mine Robin Powell, my wife, in this public hearing concerning the closing of Johnson Street. What I just passed out was not only something that we are going to support as far as the rezoning is concerned, but there's also a proposed package to sell the property which is adjacent to where the judicial complex will be. We're expressing my support or our support for the proposed rezoning associated with the development of the judicial complex within the town of Lewisburg. This initiative represents a transformative investment in Franklin County's legal infrastructure and a critical step towards improving the accessibility, efficiency, and quality of public services in our community. The proposed site, while currently outside the civic development zoning parameters, is ideally situated to accommodate long-term court system needs and modern judicial operations. Enhancing our judicial capacity in this way will support not only the justice delivery, but also stimulate local employment and commercial growth. Additionally, we are the sole owners of an apartment building located directly adjacent to the anticipated project boundary. Based on our early development drawings, it appears that a portion of this property will be necessary for the complex to be fully realized. We would like to formally state our willingness to sell the entire parcel for $1 million. I am prepared to engage promptly in good faith negotiations with the county or its authorized representatives to support a transparent, equitable transaction that serves the broader public interest. At this time, I also would like to ask a couple of questions, if I could, of the council. Recently, maybe a couple months ago, I spoke to the county manager as far as eminent domain. Could someone ask maybe the commissioners if there are any legal ramifications that will come because of eminent domain?
That is one question that is being posed. You would like to pose that question to the
Yes.
to the county. Okay, is that something?
When it's their turn, then you can pose
Okay.
all the questions that he has.
Secondly, I simply like to thank you for your thoughtful consideration in both this rezoning request and the accompanying offer of private property to facilitate the development. We will remain committed to supporting this important civic endeavor in any way that we can. Thank you.
Second, the staff. Hammerberger? I hope I didn't pronounce that correctly.
Scott Harrow, Assistant County Manager, address 113 Market Street, Lewisburg, North Carolina, 27549. Thank you for allowing the county to speak today or providing a public hearing. I've got a few comments, just an overview to make sure that we're on the same understanding of what the nature of the request today. Give you a brief overview of where we are today. Where Carolina General Statutes requires that counties provide judicial services. I'm sure all of us know our history here, but as a reminder, the first courthouse, or the current courthouse, Superior Court, was constructed in 1850. A substantial remodel was occurred in 1937 to the Superior Courthouse. Courthouse Annex was constructed in 1985. With that being said, the point I'm trying to make is, when we look at this, there hasn't been a historic need to increase judicial services within the county based on our growing population. With that being said, as the current design of the new judicial complex, it is designed to accommodate our future growth for the foreseeable future, based on current census data projections available. When I'm saying that, we're looking at a 30-40 year time frame that this center will meet the county's needs, serve as our judicial center. I want to point out with the PDD request, our Planned Development District. This basically sets the baseline for what rules the county must adhere to seeking further approvals. Does nothing more than that. It just establishes the zoning. So with that being said, the county at this point has a recently recorded a map, and if I may, in the board view
Yes, sir.
presentation, just to make sure we're talking about the same subject areas. So this is a recombination map that was reported on June 17th of 2025. We've highlighted the area. I apologize. My son was at work yesterday. I had him outline the maps. So basically what you're looking at within this yellow area, just to point out, is the existing approved PDD area here up top. The areas that we are requesting to be included today would be the portion of West Johnson Street that the town council has previously approved. In addition to the recently acquired parcel, 0.99 acres, identified by parcel 031340. We're not asking for any other parcels to be included within this PDD request. For the council to choose to do so, certainly we have no disagreement with such. I'd like to point out that the planning board has previously reviewed this proposal. They did provide a unanimous recommendation as required by North Carolina General Statute. I said that a little bit off. They're required to review it. They can provide an unfavorable or favorable recommendation, but I want to point out there was a unanimous recommendation for approval for this request by your planning board. Also, I want to point out that subject to this PDD request outcome today, if it does receive a favorable outcome, as in any other development, we will still need to work with your planning staff to have a site plan that meets all of your town's zoning ordinance requirements, in addition to the requirements, the overlay requirements set forth within this PDD. Following the zoning approval, we will need to work with your public utilities department as well as your third-party engineer, from my understanding, to approve all construction documents related to water, sewer, stormwater, electric as well. So we'll still need those outstanding approvals from the town going forward, pending the outcome of today's decision. I'd like to point out that within the town's recently adopted comprehensive plan, there's a statement in there that says, this area should remain as the most dense, highly urbanized portion of the town with an increased concentration of residential, office, and commercial uses. Emphasis is on a combination of entertainment, specifically retail, government services is recommended. That's based on your current comprehensive plan. And really, you know, this BDD request that I really want to point out does not differentiate from your existing zoning ordinance substantially. The main difference, or what this is allowing, is increasing additional flexibility with the perimeter buffers for the parking areas, setback accommodations for the courthouse annex. But I want to point out that also another condition of this BDD request, should you approve it today, is right now within the town, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Terry, on this, you have architectural controls in your overlay historic districts. This PDD would request does have further requirements enhanced from what's already in your UDO, requiring any buildings to be constructed in these affected areas to be done so with masonry products. Also has sign limitations. Also covers the screening of any mechanical units as well. So it goes above and beyond what your current ordinance requires. With that said, I know you have a lot today, but I just want to make sure that you have understanding, or our understanding, of where we are with this project. I'd like to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Okay, it's still not clear to me what we're talking about.
Sure.
Where is this?
So if I may, so everyone can see, this area has already been zoned with PDD. We're
Right.
requesting that the PDD be extended to include the vacated portion of West Johnson Street and the recently acquired property from the county.
But not the Anderson Powell building.
No, sir.
That is outside.
I'm sorry?
That's outside of this zoning request.
So my
It
understanding
was-
from our last discussion of this, is we have to include the Powell's parcel for their portion of West Johnson Street to be included. So we realize you don't want their whole lot rezoned, but I think from what Terry's interpretation is, we have to do it. But
If I may.
yeah,
Leave that.
maybe there's more to it
And
that.
please make sure I get this right there. So previously, we did not have this map, and it was our understanding that basically, a portion of the Powell Anderson property extended into West Johnson Street.
About 30 feet.
So with that, what Terry said was absolutely correct previously, was that we'd have to include all or portion of it. Based on the general statute requirements, if you're rezoning, let's say, a portion of a property, let's say I've got 20-acre property and I want to 3 acres for, let's say, I need to know where that line's going to be. State law says, you know, that could be a physical boundary such as a stream, could be an easement. But with this recombination map, we have a meets and bounds description of where that PDD line would start and where it would stop.
Basically be the side of the building.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we're not rezoning the building, just the street.
The county's request is not to rezone the building, just the street. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Just West Johnson Street, and once again, the 0.99 acres.
Thank
Did I get it?
That helps.
Yes, so legally, yes, we would be rezoning the entire property, but if, with the county recording this document, means that they could only implement the PDD on the street portion and not with Mr. Powell's property. Because they are in effect limiting the PDD to just that portion and not Mr. Powell's property.
I would say that the county's request is just to include, once again, just West Johnson Street, 0.99 acres. Should you go, is there within your purview to go beyond that? But that is what the county's stance is.
Thank
Now, there's one other question.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Mr. Powell's property, I just want some clarification. Am I correct in understanding that there is a small portion of Johnson Street that is considered Mr. Powell's
That's
property?
correct.
Okay, and I think that's approximately about 30 feet.
Approximately about a little, just a hair less than 30 feet, extending into Johnson Street towards the center line.
Mhm.
And Mr. Powell's property, based on this map, is just a hair under 100 feet. Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the county will still need to have an amicable accord with Mr. Anderson to secure that property,
Oh, okay,
that portion of West Johnson Street.
okay, so that's something that you and the Powells, the county and the Powells will,
Yes, sir.
I understand, I got you, okay. All right. Any other questions?
That answers all my concerns.
Okay, any other questions?
I don't have a question, I just want to make a statement. I don't think it was that we were objecting to it last week. Last time, we were just trying to make sure that all parties involved was aware.
Absolutely.
And I think I guess that's why we're here today, but just making sure all parties were aware of what's going on and that they are informed. We wasn't objecting to the zoning, just making sure that everybody was aware of what was going on, keeping everybody safe.
That's our understanding. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from the citizens?
Eminent
domain.
Okay.
Pose Mr. Powell's question to the council.
Yeah, Mr. Powell had posed a question regarding eminent domain. And I assume that eminent domain that he was talking about was that little small portion of Johnson Street that is considered his property.
I believe it was Mr. Powell's outline his proposal, ensuring we've taken care of market value. Certainly, that would not be our first option or route on that, nor something we would take lightly. We would make every effort to do so in an amicable manner that is mutually beneficial to each party.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from the citizens? Council? If not, could I get a motion to go into back?
Oh, it is Terry's turn. to
Oh.
speak.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Again, we're here today to try to amend the already approved PDD to add the former West Johnson Street that is now closed, as well as the town lot that is in the back. The portion of Mr. Powell's property that was reverted back to him as a result of closing West Johnson Street is just adding extra lands into the already approved PDD. The county, this was their plan from the beginning, and I would just like to touch on a few things to add on to what Mr. Hammerbacher said. The Franklin County Judicial Complex is a major expansion project designed to consolidate and modernize the county's court operations. Every one of North Carolina's 100 counties has a county seat, in which that county seat has a county courthouse. With this project, we would just be solidifying Lewisburg's place as the county seat for years to come for the future. The downtown revitalization and economic stimulus that will be as a result of the county complex judicial expansion, it will generate more consistent weekday foot traffic from attorneys, jurors, law enforcement, and residents. The increased activity directly supports local businesses, cafes, restaurants, and shops that are all existing in downtown Lewisburg. It improves public access to justice by having a consolidated modern facility. It makes legal services more accessible and efficient for town residents. Safety and operational efficiency by integrating secure corridors between the courthouse and detention center, the Sally Port, the reason for closing West Johnson Street. The project reduces risk and during detainee transport and supports safer operations. It aligns with our long-term planning because it does align with our comprehensive plan. And I wanted to mention a few points in our comprehensive plan. On page 12, a community's downtown is the focal point of the area, often defining the physical sense of place for the entire community. This may be even more evident in Lewisburg, where downtown also serves as a center of government services for both the town and Franklin County as a whole. On page 15, one of our strategies to make and create a strong downtown, strategy 5, improve and expand the government center. Downtown Lewisburg is currently home to many government institutions, including Town Hall, the Franklin County Courthouse, and a number of town and county offices. The government presence generates vehicular and foot traffic that helps keep downtown healthy and thriving. It is important to collaborate with the county to maintain a strong presence in downtown. For example, the town is working with the county on a project to expand county facilities onto the town-owned property across from Town Hall on West Nash Street. As Mr. Hammerbacher mentioned, these principles are in our comprehensive plan that we adopted and that we plan to implement in the future for Lewisburg. On page 25, strategy 3 of quality governmental services is coordinating with Franklin County. As Lewisburg is the seat of Franklin County, there are a number of reasons for the town and county to coordinate on issues of mutual concern. Notably, Franklin County is a major property owner in downtown Lewisburg. It is essential that the town and county coordinate and work together on improvements in the downtown to ensure its future success. The town and county should also continue to work together on infrastructure planning, funding major improvements, and similar opportunities. And then finally, on our future land use map or land use planning in the downtown focus area, it does, to touch on what Mr. Hammerbacher mentioned, evaluate opportunities and plan to leverage private sector investment as a result of county facility expansion, such as shared parking for evening and weekend focused uses and that are opposite of the county parking needs. So I just wanted to mention those points that are in our comprehensive plan that do align with this project. And then I just wanted to mention a few other cases around North Carolina. In Cleveland County, North Carolina, after opening its new Justice Center in Shelby, local businesses within a half-mile radius saw a 12% increase in weekday revenue. In the Wake County Justice Center in Raleigh, the construction generated over 1,000 construction jobs and added 200 permanent public sector positions. A study in Mecklenburg County found that parcels within 1,000 feet of the new courthouse experienced an average of 8.5 increase in assessed value within 3 years of the county courthouse opening. In Rockingham County, the consolidation of court services into a new judicial center in Wentworth helped anchor and broaden a downtown revitalization plan, leading to a $3.2 million private investment in adjacent properties within 5 years. And then one that is a little bit more specific to Lewisburg because the population size. The Yadkin County Judicial Center, the population is 2,800, very similar to Lewisburg. It's a rural county seat with a traditional downtown core, very similar to Lewisburg. It opened in 2016 and it consolidated court functions into a modern, secure facility, same as our project proposes, well, the county's project proposes. And the economic and civic impact was reported. Local businesses reported a 10 to 15% increase in weekday sales within the first year. Adjacent parcels maintained or increased value, countering fears of institutional overreach. The project reinforced Yadkinville's role as the county legal and administrative hub, anchoring future investment to the town center. So these examples prove that a project like this would help Lewisburg. It would assist Lewisburg to grow. It would, again, solidify Lewisburg's role as the county seat for Franklin County, one of the fastest growing counties in North Carolina. We're slated to grow another 18% by 2030. And so staff does support the application for amending the boundaries of the zone, of the PDD, excuse me.
Okay. You have questions for Mr. Satterwhite? Yep.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the
Okay,
council.
I think.
It would have to, you would have to ask them and then they ask.
Yeah.
Mr. Powell, you have a question?
Yes.
Yes. In my discussions, it was brought to my attention that there would be some type of problems if, or delay or something to that effect, if, the county couldn't get the portion of my property to go along with the judicial complex. Can someone explain that to me?
Terry, can you please address Mr. Powell's question?
Absolutely. Okay. From the site plan that the county submitted, the Sally Port, it functions as a security device for detainees going to court. With the right-of-way there, the right-of-way was 50 feet, 60 feet total. It divides in the center line, half goes to Mr. Powell, half goes to the county. From the site plan that the county submitted, I don't know, I'm not an architect, so I can't say for sure, for certain, but I don't know that the county can make the Sally Port work without the 30 feet from Mr. Powell's property. So that's the reason why they.
Well, that area also was going to be secured parking.
Correct. His portion is where the front gate from Main Street would be for the Sally Port. It would be pretty much that portion right there. And I just don't know because of the way that it is existing concrete sidewalks on both sides. And then there are utilities that we found on the side where the county courthouse is. I don't know that they would be able to move the entrance over and still have enough room for right of way.
That is your question?
Okay. Any other questions? Mr. Hackleberg, you have comments or questions?
Yes, sir. If I may, I'd like to just make a distinction today is we're asking for the rezoning to be put in place for the PDD expanded to West Johnson Street. As I noted previously, we are still going to have to go through and work with the town to secure the zoning permit. Part of this as well is Main Street is a NCDOT maintained right of way. So we have had discussions already with DOT, been able to secure all necessary means and properties or approvals will be part of our driveway permit going forward. So certainly that is an issue that we will need to address going forward. But I'd like to just maintain that as not part of really our discussion today in terms of the zoning request. We're here to decide, is this an appropriate land use? Is it consistent with our approved plans? I apologize, I'm not trying to overstay my bounds, but certainly we're aware of those. Those are issues that the county will be responsible for negotiating moving forward for our project. But right now we're just respectfully the town consider our PDD request.
Okay, any questions? County representative? Any questions from the citizens to the county representative? Okay.
Thank you for allowing us to.
If not?
I'd like to make a statement though.
Sure.
If I can do this diplomatically. There's been a lot of discussion in the media and on social media about how we're spending all this money on criminals. And I'd just like to point out, as been pointed out to us, a large amount of the activity that goes on in the judicial complex has nothing to do with criminals. There is an extensive amount of activity involves ordinary citizens such as ourselves. It is a necessary structure. Yes, I would like to see less money being spent on criminals and more money on preventing criminal activity in the first place. But that's not the issue here. The issue is we need this space. The county needs this space to be able to carry out its legitimate functions. And we need this judicial complex to stay in downtown Lewisburg to support our downtown businesses and economic activity. I've done a lot of research on this. I know there's a lot of debate as to whether or not the judicial complex is a hindrance or an advantage to our downtown. The bottom line is if it goes away, short term, it is going to be disastrous for our downtown. Maybe 20, 30 years down the road, we recover. But what do we do in the meantime? So as much as I don't like seeing our Johnson Street closed, I was one of the most vocal opponents to this. I have changed my mind because You know, it's a compromise. I have to give in something that I wanted. The county has to give in something that they wanted. Nobody's totally happy with this. But I think it's a good compromise. And that's the nature of good government.
Thank you, Councilman Stover. Any other comments from the council? If not, then could I get a motion to go, I
move that we close the public hearing.
been moving properly second that we close public hearing. All in favor?
Uh,
All opposed? Next, item 6 is the approval for the consideration for the amendment, as we've just heard via the public session. I also just want to just simply say that I agree totally with Councilman Stover, and we all feel that this would be a big plus for the town of Lewisburg. And also, I've said in previous discussions, see, this is one of the biggest, you know, things that the county and the town has engaged in, and all for the benefit of the town. And I think it's a good thing, and I'd like to ask for a motion for approval to move forward on this.
Move so.
On the last page, you gotta read it.
You gotta read it.
Yeah,
Oh,
You'll
gotta
make-
read
read that last page.
All right,
This,
go ahead.
I will make a motion. I make a motion to approve the request of the amendment to the Plan Development District map for the Franklin County Judicial Center Complex as identified by Franklin County Tax ID parcels 031340, 015646, and West Johnson Street be approved, given the findings for this request are consistent with the 2030 Lewisburg Comprehensive Plan and shown to be in the public interest, as the amendment will assist in keeping downtown thriving and is reasonable in the sense that will expand county facilities in accordance with the comprehensive plan.
Does that require a second?
yes,
Second.
it's been moved and properly second that we'll approve this amendment as read there. All in favor, let it be known by raising your hand, being that this is the most important project that we've ever engaged in with the county. All in favor? All opposed? Amendment has been approved. Thank you. So that leads to the very last thing on the agenda.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that we adjourn. All in favor? All opposed?
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out and again.